Hi, everyone. It's been a minute since I've posted about this last. This project has been ongoing, growing more and more with every person that decides to recreate the Booker T. Washington walk with me. The thing about this walk is that I set out for it to be one particular thing in my mind. And with every person that joins me, the experience of the walk becomes something so much larger than anyone could have anticipated. And I wanted to thoroughly document that and record that in a group of people. 9 days ago, I walked with Scott Davison, Yiseli Marquez, Alex Mora, Ketcher Lee, and Andrew Crucelius. We walked from Lover's Lane, Dart Station, down to Booker T. Washington. This was a 2 hour walk, which was half the distance than the original walk that I took in the very first video that I made. We shortened the distance of the walk for the sake of this documentary, and also to suggest that the destination points are subject to change based off the original walk that the very first Booker T. Washington students ever made to get to school. There were so many magical moments in this walk, and I like to think that we were able to capture a lot of them in this documentary. I hope that they mean something to you and they inspire you to join us on the next 50th anniversary walk. I hope you are able to watch this and experience these moments as if they are your own as well, because they are. Thank you. How does everyone feel right now?
Yeah, ready
Feeling
to go.
good? Yeah?
Yeah.
So I want all of us to think about what it was like to get into Booker T. And I want us to look for things on our walk today that symbolize the elements of getting into Booker T. And then at the end of the walk, I'm going to ask you, what do you think you saw today on your walk that you would like to compare to the process of getting in? What does your commute to school look like today, like day to day?
Well, I've done it for so many years, I could probably close my eyes and still slow down in the three school zones I drive through. I used to have a kid who would ride a unicycle. Sometimes I'd go down Central and I'd see him on the access road, and he's up here on a unicycle. He's just pedaling away, and hey, we make discoveries along the way.
That's right.
Hey, what's up? I live down in South Dallas, Fort Worth Avenue, and then I get on Woodall Rogers from there. It's a good time in the morning to mentally prepare for the day. I don't want to use the word meditate, but kind of shake off the day before and get ready for the day that's coming up. The construction's always changing at this one intersection. I don't know. Sometimes I like to watch how the construction progresses.
What's up, guys? Man, I really get it easy because I live no more, even with the worst traffic, no more than 20 minutes away. And all I have to do is drive down the road and cross that bridge into downtown. So to imagine what students before me, had to do every day walking 4 hours, it's really insane to hear. It gives me a greater appreciation for what the other students used to do.
So my grandma would take me and my siblings to school. So we would wake up at 6 a.m. every morning, but I really liked my sleep, so I didn't really wake up till 6:20. And it's funny because it kind of connects to that feeling when you first get into Booker T. My first day of school, I was so mad at my brother because he took his sweet time getting ready. I was so worried about being late, and I got to school at 8:20. So that's really late. But that was my commute to school.
I also live in South Dallas in Oak Cliff, right by the zoo. Usually my father takes me to school. It's kind of funny. Every day we go a different way pretty much. I couldn't tell you the specific ways because I don't remember or really pay attention. I could get out of my car and walk to school before the traffic will clear up at these lights, which is kind of funny. Usually when I go over the bridge, there's big fields of grass. I always thought it'd be cool to just walk around in them.
Well, this used to be the old Dr. Pepper factory, and it was in a sort of iconic building in the old style. It was farther off, and this was big field all around it. Here's the Dr. Pepper plant.
Wow.
And then the sign was right out here. Instead, they tore it down and put in a Kroger and all this other stuff. But my dad did all the original Dr. Pepper print advertising, and their symbol was 10, 2, and 4. And that's when you were supposed to have a Dr. Pepper, at 10, 2, and 4.
Huh.
Good morning. By the way, those white apartments right down there, one of our students, Chris Arnold, who's a muralist, painted the mural downtown, and he actually used students as models in that mural with the big head and all the dancers coming out. But he also painted murals, and then they painted over them. A company bought this, and they painted over Chris's murals, sort of like FIFA did with Wales.
Yes. A big thing that I want to talk about in this documentary is the fact that in a lot of parts of Dallas, art is restricted or harmed by other entities.
Right.
And Booker T, for the longest time, has been the place where people come to be artists, which is very similar to Booker T being the only place for colored students to go.
Right. Well, they tried to get rid of us many times over the years.
Yeah.
They didn't want us there.
Yeah.
And they had an arts district plan, even though we started it and we were the first ones there. There was a big plan. In fact, they wanted to get rid of us and move us in the Townville view and Oak Cliff when they consolidated the rest. And we put up a fight and refused to leave. We were the pioneers. We were the ones who started it all. The only reason we're still there is that for years we worked to get the original building there declared a historic landmark. But that's the only reason we're still there. You realize, too, there were a lot of people who were not in favor of desegregation. They created the magnet program in order to say, we're desegregating, we're busing kids in. But it was only for about 4 or 5 schools. There was a health magnet. There was a law magnet. There was a transportation magnet. There's a Libertine, which has been here for quite a long time. But before it was a Libertine, it was Big Rick's. Before it was Big Rick's, it was a Secret Bar. Before it was a Secret Bar, it was the Corner Tap, the Chicago Bar. And before that, it was a massage school. Before that, it was a hair and nails place. And before that, it was an auto parts store.
Geneva Heights Elementary School used to be Robert E. Lee Elementary School. And there was a push when I was about in maybe, 4th grade, 5th grade, for them to change the name. And I got to vote on the design, and the one I chose didn't win, unfortunately. But it's fine. It's fine. We saw this place, and we were kind of curious. It was a new place, a new spot in town, right? Seemed interesting, a grill. My mom ordered this salad, and we're there eating our food. As we're eating, my mom is like, we're like, what's wrong? She's like, fishing up like something in her mouth. I'm like, what's going on? Like, what'd you eat? She pulls out a bolt.
Oh.
There was a bolt in her salad, a steel bolt. She did not order a bolt salad. No. We take it to the kitchen. The guy's like, oh my gosh. We're so sorry. It seemed like the guy kind of knew how it happened. Like it might have been a concern and then it finally happened. Like this thing could have happened and it did. It was right here. So right here where it says corner. Yeah. So this middle one, this is Muscle Maker Grill.
Just thought of this. Erykah Badu worked there after she graduated from high school in a coffee shop that was called Grinders that was there for a while. That was in the early 90s. I used to come down here. They had Torelli's, which was an Italian restaurant. This is where Marshall Ivory played jazz. He was a phenomenal saxophone player.
Wow.
And Marshall played here every Sunday night. On drums was Andrew Griffith, who graduated from Booker T. He plays with Jonathan Fisher around, best drummer around. Michael Palma, who graduated from Booker T, was in the 10th grade. And he would play here with all these guys every Sunday night. And Michael went to Berkeley. It was something else. Right here is where Poor David's used to be. A lot of our students got their start here They played some of their first gigs here at Fort David's. Patrice Pike played there. Edie and New Bohemians, they played there. All sorts of students got their start in what was the old Barber College.
There's this one time we were on the train, my dad and I. This guy was like beatboxing to himself and like rapping to himself. And my dad got so annoyed and fed up, we had to go to like a completely different part. It's funny. That's one of my train memories.
I really do like the walk. It's not that bad, and I think more people should come do it. They hear 2 hours or 4 hours and they think the worst, but it's actually not that bad. You get to learn the history of Dallas, and most of the things people were saying I had no idea, because this is an area I've never been to, so it's nice to hear. Talking among people really distracts you from walking, so you're not even thinking about it. It doesn't feel like you've been walking for 2 hours. It feels like you've been walking for 5. Yeah, it's nice.
I have a little alligator? What?
What is it this?
Whoa. Look at that. Is that real? That's cool. I think I have from a touchdown.
You never know what you're going to find. All of that. And then instead of just imitating. Oh, this is all done by Booker T students.
Wow. I didn't know that. It's so cool.
There's a little thing right here, and it said, "Welcome to the Arts District," right? There was like a little black square, and it had white text. A while ago, there was a little local miscreant, a bad actor of sorts, who came and added an F in front of the arts. So then for a few months it said, "Welcome to the Farts District." And then the city came and covered the F, but they did it in a color that was different from the rest of the box. So it was pretty evident that they had covered something there.
In the old days when things were segregated and you could not stay in certain places, this is where if you were a celebrity but you were black or something, you would stay here. People like the there's no prejudice, no segregation, etc. Dallas always has pretended like it hasn't been. But when I grow up, I remember taking laundry with my mom. You would separate your white from the color clothes and wash them separately. Well, I remember going to the laundromat, and I remember getting out of the car as a little kid, running up to the door, stopping at the laundromat, and then looking, and then running back to my mom and saying, "Mom, we have to go somewhere else. We can't wash our whites here because our colored clothes here." Because there was a sign that said whites only. But as a little innocent kid, I had no conception that was, prejudice. But that was, how Dallas was, too. And, of course, all the schools were segregated up until 1976, right?
You did it, man. You did it.
Ernie Banks is one of the most celebrated. He was also important because he's one of the very first black players, right, who breaking into sports. Well, he went to Booker T. By the way, the statue was made by Mr. Gillespie, who is an alum and was my student when he was here. But you notice Ernie is looking in a particular direction, right? And the reason he's facing that way and looking that direction is that's where he lived. And that's where he walked from, over here, from his home to get here to Booker T.
Yeah.
What should be our chant to celebrate?
BTW.
Okay, so now that we're done with this walk, I want to ask you, what were some things that you experienced that you feel like were symbolic of you getting into Booker T?
I didn't get tired. It was kind of hot. It was a longer walk than one I might usually take. But I didn't get tired, and I'm not tired right now. And I think because I know the destination, I kind of had an idea of what I was getting into and kind of the honor that came with that. And so I knew it was going to be hard and I was going to grow, but I never felt fatigued or over it or ready to graduate. How I feel right now, just physically and mentally, is kind of, yeah, just representative of how I feel being at school right now, just happy to be here.
I think for me, the path we took, I think is interesting. It was literally like two streets for the most part, just two straight streets. It's not a very especially hard walk, and it'd be hard to get lost if you're going on two streets. It's quite direct. I feel like that's kind of my journey. Going in and going through Booker T is kind of like it's laid out. It's right there. You just got to follow it. It doesn't have to be hard. It's not necessarily hard or complex. We saw a lot of interesting things on the way. I like the alligator and the little cat in the gutter. I don't know what those mean yet, but I feel like they'll mean something eventually on my way through Booker T.
The walk was nice. Like hearing people's stories definitely shifted my mindset because I wasn't really thinking of walking. I was enjoying everyone's stories and the history of Dallas and some of the students. This journey I kind of related to the process of getting into Booker T. I was very anxious about getting in, and when I did, I was relieved. It was crazy, but I sticked it through and liked the walk. Like I made it, and I feel very accomplished.
It was just crazy taking the walk and thinking about how like the stuff that I get to do every day here, like people would do that every morning just to get to do that. So it was really, really inspiring. And then also, aside from the walk, seeing all the stuff and hearing all the places that like the people that have come before me would perform and all the crazy stuff that would happen, it was just all really inspiring.
The blazing sun and the heat and everything. Booker T is the shade, the cooling breeze, the circle, right? The history. But it's important to remember too that we chose to be here. We did this. The past, people did it because they didn't have the option. It was do this or nothing, right? And that's another thing that Booker T is for all of us is, the integration of the arts and also with each other. It's great that we can choose to do this. I'm really proud of all you guys for showing up.
Yeah, you guys are amazing. All right.
I don't know. Are you guys old enough to be sitting in this car?
Yeah.
This is the Heineken beer car.
Yeah.
At the beginning of this documentary, I asked everyone to meditate on the moment that they got into Booker T and to remember all of the elements that went into arriving at this destination. I think that whenever we take this walk together as a group, we are re-experiencing what it is to dedicate ourselves to this place. As Booker T. Washington students, dedication is innately in everything that we do, and that has been a part of our history as a school. I've wanted this documentary to be about creations as well, because I think that it is such a necessary element that makes Booker T. Washington the destination to actually arrive to. Creations is the freedom that we are fighting for and the dedication that we are putting forth to get to this place. I think that ultimately there is a freedom for everyone to find at Booker T. Washington. And during this walk, you will experience your own unique version of that freedom and remind yourself of why it is you traveled to that place. Because the truth is that you have already done this walk. And this is only the celebration of that. It would mean so much to me if you could join me in the 50th anniversary walk. Thank you.